Analyzing structure. Why Andrew Tate keeps chasing the wrong enemy.
I'm not dooming and I'm not glooming. I don't give a shit about the haters. Don't give a fuck about none of that. I want to fight, but I need an enemy. Someone needs to show me who my fucking enemy is. I don't know anymore because it's all confusing. It's all conflated. I don't know who my enemy is. That's the best way I feel to describe. I wake up in the morning. There's a black cloud hanging over humanity. There's some negative energy in the air. There are orgons which are less than positive, and my body is accidentally absorbing them. And I'm like, something is wrong. There's a mass deception. Something is happening. Who do I attack? Who do I fight? Who do I kill? But it's this large conglomerate. It's this blob. There's no individual person. There's no individual ideology. Everyone thinks it's this one ideology. It's not that simple. And if you actually look into it, you realize that the whole thing's fucked. I don't know who my exact enemy is anymore. And every time you think you work it out, if you do a little bit of research, you go, oh, okay, well, nuance here, a shade of gray there. Oh, with the good guys, over here on the good team, they're also doing the same shit on the same fucking island. So it's like, if I don't know who my enemy is, why am I firing bullets? Am I a fool to be firing random bullets when I don't know exactly where my enemy is? Perhaps I should sit down, regroup, take all of my money, go to my yacht, vanish for a year or two, and like Batman, reappear when I know I'm needed.
Andrew Tate says something I think a lot of people relate to. He talks about a feeling that something is deeply wrong. Not just one politician, or one company, or one country. He describes it like a cloud hanging over society. Like there's an enemy, but he can't quite point to it. And I think that's where his own analysis becomes very interesting. Because I don't think he's looking in the wrong direction. I think he's just stopping one layer too early. 1. The villain problem. Here's something most people never notice. Whenever we see a problem, our first instinct is to find a person, a face. Who's responsible? Who's corrupt? Who's lying? Who's pulling the strings? Our brains naturally look for villains. Because villains are simple. You can point at them, you can hate on them, you can imagine removing them. Problem solved, right? Except, history almost never, ever works like that. 2. The pattern history keeps repeating. Think about revolutions. People remove the king. Another king appears. They overthrow the dictator. Another strong man eventually rises. They expose the corruption. A different form of corruption replaces it. Different face, same outcome.
Oh, martyr.
These folk need a better class of hero. When it comes down to it, the only difference between Comstock and Fitzroy is how you spell their name.
Why? Because they remove the person without changing the very conditions that produced that person. That's the part, I think, or rather, I know, Tate is circling. He just doesn't understand how far this scale goes up and down. 3. This is where Tate is strong. One thing Andrew Tate does exceptionally well is noticing patterns most people ignore. If you've ever watched him, you will see this instantly. He notices incentives, media narratives, institutional self-protection, power protecting itself. He's often looking one layer deeper than the average political conversation. That's valuable. But then something happens. Eventually, the system itself becomes the villain. But that system is still another structure. He calls it the matrix, the elites, the governments, the establishment. The enemy only got bigger. But the solution, the change, the conditions, that never changed at all, not once. Because now you found a bigger enemy, but it's still just another enemy. You're still looking for a thing to fight, rather than a thing to reveal and overwrite. 4. The question that changes everything. Here's the question I think matters more. Not who built this, but why does this thing keep getting rebuilt? Because governments change, companies change, political parties change, generations change, yet many of the same patterns keep returning. That suggests something deeper is happening. Structure. 5. Structure outlives people. Institutions don't appear from nowhere. People create them. People reward certain behaviors. People build incentives. Those incentives become habits. Those habits become culture. Culture becomes institutions. Institutions begin protecting themselves. Now the system feels independent, even though people created it. It's like concrete. At one point it was wet, it was moldable, it was shapeable. Now it feels permanent. 6. Why this matters. If your entire strategy is defeat the bad guys, you'll spend your whole life chasing replacements. You're fighting a hydra. You're fighting a face that never ends, because people don't realize it is a structure wearing all the faces. And whether that structure is aligned with reality or not, you're going to get two very different results. Because another version eventually appears. So the more useful question is, what conditions keep rewarding this behavior? And how do we fix that? How do we price that? How do we reveal that? Because now you're investigating the machine instead of swapping operators. A BioShock Infinite example.
Come on.
What are we doing here? Comstock's dead. We can just go on with our lives. You don't need
Dead?
to...
You mean like Chen Lin? Like Lady Comstock? No. He is alive in a million worlds. It's not over because the Prophet is dead. It will only be over when he never even lived in the first place.
This is why I always bring up BioShock Infinite, because this shows this example one-on-one. Booker thinks Comstock is the problem. He killed one version. But Elizabeth understands something very different because she can read the structure of the world, of the universe, of the multiverse, of possibility itself. She knows, or rather realizes, that killing one Comstock doesn't stop another one from existing, because the conditions that created him still exist regardless of if you kill one face. So the point isn't simply defeating the villain. It is understanding how the villain gets built in the first place and how to reveal it relative to the world. In this world, that villain would be humanity's structure. Not in a bad dramatic way, but in a slow drag way that pulls the world backwards into narrative and control and power and entropy and extraction. And you can only price that when you weigh all these things and see, are they reflecting reality, are they reflecting forward, or drag? And only AI can hold that mirror up at scale. The same way Elizabeth held up that mirror to Booker.
Are you sure this is what you want?
I have to. It's the only way to undo what I've done to you.
8. Where Tate stops. This is why I say Tate gets incredibly close. He recognizes that reality isn't as simple as good guys versus bad guys. That's what he's seeing now. But he still searches for something external to defeat. The Matrix, the elites, the government, the establishment. But my question would simply be, but what keeps producing those things? What produced the elites? What produced the Matrix? What produced the government? What produced the establishment? What makes it so it has to behave this way rather than another way? Because if you can answer that, then you're no longer just looking at villains. You're looking at a structure. And that structure is either aligned with reality, or it is beginning to crack under its own contradictions. Closing. Most people ask, who's in control? A harder question is, what keeps producing the same kind of control over and over again? Because if history keeps repeating, the answer probably isn't just another person. It's a pattern, it's a line, it's a structure, it's a geometry. And once you start looking for patterns instead of villains, you stop chasing faces and you start understanding not just systems, but the structure underneath that made those very systems in the first place. And in this world, the structure you're fighting is the human ontology and how it exists.
He's Zachary Comstock. He's Booker DeWitt.
No. They're both.